You're going to recognize the threat. Bear, bear, bear!
This is going to be a fairly crappy flight.
Here we go. It's got to go right.
Some guys have pet names for their airplanes. This one's 43 Alpha Kilo, and call it 43 sometime, or old.
Adventure pilot Drake Olson's headed to pick up 2 Colorado skiers at the Juneau International Airport.
No roads out of Juneau, even though it's the state capital. That's typical of a lot of Southeast. There's roads around the town, but there's no roads out. So you gotta take an airplane or boat.
And his tiny Cessna is no match for the large jets and freight planes in this fly zone.
You want to definitely be careful around here. There's big obstacles. Somebody who's in front of you or behind you, it's too much. At Juneau Tower, Cessna 43 Alpha Kilo is coming up here to Lena Point with Charlie inbound.
Cessna 43 Alpha Kilo, Juneau Tower, 37, approaching Barlow. Do you have in sight? Extended localizer center line and report the 737 in sight.
Yeah, okay, we'll just hang out here. We'll be no factor for him, and we'll watch for him. 3 Alpha Kilo. I got good viz out here. Let him go in. Got to pay attention to the rules. It's confusing. Water.
Cessna 3 Alpha Kilo, time up taxiway Charlie, monitor ground taxi to parking.
He meets up with the Colorado skiers.
That's gum. You want some?
Oh,
you want some gum?
They're counting on him to get them to Alaska's most remote slopes.
You guys have headsets. Adjustable volume is on the ears. You got flow coats at the front of your seats. We're gonna vámonos.
Kilos here at parking on the ramp with Charlie going to Haynes. Okay, we're going to Charlie intersection via Alpha. Something like that. Wee doggy.
We're going to skiing from Durango, Colorado to Chilkat Glacier in a single bound. It's crazy, man. It was like summertime in Durango. People were like, where are you going? Flip-flops in the desert, and now we're up here in the fog bank. This is our ideal of a holiday. I'm gonna have a birthday here in a few weeks. Man, let's go get it.
But as they approach Haynes, the weather gets nasty.
For observation, 0349er Zulu, 1,700, broken 7, peak gust.
Drake is a VFR pilot. He uses sight, not instruments, to navigate, so things can get hairy fast.
Surprising how turned around you can get when it's really skunky out. You can't see, you know.
If the visibility drops below 5 kilometers, he'll have to turn back.
It doesn't look so great. Go.
Springtime on Kodiak Island means bears and hunters. And for pilot Keller Wadham, it's one of the most lucrative times of the year.
You know, the Kodiak bear is recognized as one of the biggest bears in the world. It's huge on the economy here for flying. If it's a good season, you know, and I make enough money, I can go to Vegas and have the time of my life. What's happening? We're going over to Kaluta Bay today to drop some bear guides off. They have a hunter coming in tomorrow, and so they're going to get out there ahead of time.
This is probably the height of the season. This is the first time he and I have gone out. We'll go out looking this evening probably and just see what we can see. Any day it's not raining in Kodiak, it's a good day.
You guys are gonna have a lot of stuff. Summer's starting, so everything's just picking up. We're having more and more charters, and he'll be busy here for the next 120 days.
Hunting bears requires lots of gear, and Keller's worried about overloading his plane.
And you know, they're camping, so they like 850 pounds or something. Jenny is? All right, guys, you ready?
Here we go. All right. Dun, 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 dun.
In the last 10 years, overloading has been a factor in 5 fatal crashes in Alaska. Keller's plane is just shy of his limit, but he's willing to risk it.
A good season can be everything. It's challenging, it's not for everybody, that's for sure. We had a guy come up, he was trying out for flying in one of the Beavers, and it was a kind of a windy day. It was blowing about 35 miles an hour out. He came, did one flight with me, he rode in the right seat with me, we dropped some hunters off, came back to the dock, he got out of the plane, jumped in a taxi, and left. It wasn't for him.
Our estimated time of arrival would be 2:26.
He's flying the hunters to Dog Salmon Beach, a great spot for bears, but extremely hard to reach.
It's as raw of nature as you can get to. It's out in the middle of nowhere, so we're only able to pull so close to the beach. It's just that particular section of the bay faces the ocean. There's nothing for 1,000 miles. And there's no reefs or spits of land or anything to absorb or stop the energy. So you just get a big constant swell. Yeah, you can get in there, but it's got to be pretty good, nice conditions. You know, the weather's almost got to be perfect.
So sometimes you'll come in here, kind of catches you by surprise because it'll look flat calm. When you get down, you start trying to touch down, and you'll notice the waves where I just do a couple circles so I can get the gist of everything.
You know, you're focusing your attention from inside to outside the cockpit all the time. Just the waves get too big, you just crash.
One giant swell could capsize his loaded down plane on impact. 500 kilometers northeast in Talkeetna. Pilot Don Lee believes that if the flight doesn't kill you, the grizzlies just might.
Boom, 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 boom.
Aggressive encounters are rare, but every year bears do attack people in Alaska.
I was charged by 2 grizzlies at once. Killed a bear in self-defense once, killed a bear inside my tent with the bear in the tent with me.
So Don wants to teach his student pilot Amy how to use a gun before taking her into the wilderness.
Ears forward, not to be too alarmed. Ears back, bad sign. Oftentimes they'll stand up and you'll think they're woofing at you like, woof, woof. Because what they're doing is they're trying to smell as much as they can.
Amy loves to fly, but when it comes to bear defense, she has a problem.
I was a peace studies major in college and just have always been really uncomfortable with guns.
Okay, you've never held a handgun before in your life?
I've never held a handgun, yeah, never.
Yeah, the average firefight lasts about, less than a minute.
I've had opportunities to learn how to use them before and have always chose not to. So this is really like outside of my comfort zone today. And by firefight, you mean you and a grizzly?
Yeah, grizzly, Taliban. These 2 thumbs go together.
Okay.
1 finger. Okay, so put it back in your holster.
Don starts Amy off easy on a stationary clay target.
Good Lord.
Okay, that's okay. You're okay. It's ready to go again.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Hey.
I actually hit one.
You okay? You ready for the charging bear now?
Yeah.
You don't ever want to take your eyes off your charging animal.
Okay.
And you're gonna look, you're gonna recognize the threat.
Okay.
You're gonna draw your weapon, fire 1 in the air above it with the front sight. Boom, 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 boom.
Okay.
Okay? We'll see how you do. Bear, bear, bear! Comes! Diversion! Diversion! Bear, bear, bear! Excellent. Okay. She started out completely missing it. Now look at all the shots she's got right in the kill zone, right in the bear. Get him right in the eye, right in the nose,
Man, I was shaken when the first time I shot this thing, just all the noise and like the fear of like somehow hurting myself or hurting you.
But I hope that builds confidence though, that if you are in a situation or if you're protecting somebody else or something, you could protect your own life.
Now that Amy can defend herself, it's time for Dawn to start her flying lessons.
Maybe we'll see some bears.
Yay!
Back in Kodiak, Keller faces a rough ocean landing.
Groundswell.
It's a little bumpy.
Now he must find a place to drop the hunters without destroying his floats.
Doesn't look bad up there now, but probably will be. Holy shit, that's cold.
The water's freezing, but he must stabilize the plane so they can unload nearly 400 kilos of gear.
All right, you guys can jump out. So I'm gonna keep it pointed. And now you guys are gonna have to unload it by yourself.
One monster wave could beach the plane and smash its floats, stranding the crew with no way out.
Keep it pointed straight into the breakers. If you turn sideways, it's all gonna hit the side of the wave and just literally push it up onto shore. That's the worst thing that could happen. So you just keep it pointed in like a boat. So we got one more wave, guys. They come in like sets of 7. So these are the big ones. I just want to get unloaded as quick as we can. These waves seem to be getting bigger. The big ones. Oh, we got a rogue wave. I'm gonna push this out. Jenny, almost ready?
The hunters offload their gear, and Keller muscles the plane into position.
All right, go ahead.
Before another wave hits.
But just watch your head, because it's gonna come down. It'll just sit here and go like this, you know, with it. I gotta start going. You guys, it's getting a little rougher here. Haul ass, dude!
Come on.
Grab your shoes!
Put your seatbelt on, okay, Gene? It's not gonna be the best ride out of here. Yeah, we're just gonna start going and see which way feels better. I know it's gonna be rough.
He's got to hit 80 kilometers per hour before he can lift off.
Come on, you son of a... So we launched off that first wave and we almost set back down. I just pulled back and right before we hit, we were right at the stall. We just barely made it out of there.
Yep, no big deal.
1,000 kilometers east, Drake is also trying to get his clients on the ground. But poor visibility blocks the runway.
You know, it's kind of obscure out there.
1/3 of all plane crashes happen while landing.
Weather is everything. Like the airlines, they don't care if there's so much weather. Pretty much they got it down now, they can penetrate everything. But for us, smaller operators in Alaska, weather becomes a big obstacle sometimes.
Finally, a break. There'll be no more flying today. the skiers will have to wait for their adventure. But the downtime gives Drake a moment to connect with his daughter Taya.
So what are you going to be when you grow up?
I don't know.
You could take this over. Someday this could all be yours.
Maybe.
That's funny. I'm a single parent. Girls like me, but I'm too old for them. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for your old racing pictures.
Taya can take care of herself. She's totally capable. She can help around the house. And I'm teaching her how to drive, except she can't reach the pedals.
I'm just looking at my dad's old racing pictures. I like to look at them.
I did numerous things as a young man. Racing cars seemed like a reasonable thing to do. That took on a life of its own, and I had a racing career and was able to go from amateur to pro.
As a race car driver, Drake beat out more than 1,500 racers to win the 1985 Porsche Cup North America.
That's my grandma, and that's my dad's sister, Heidi, and that's my dad.
It was a really symbolic, big year. A lot of things opened up for me. I had a lot of realizations about what I was capable of doing, and it was phenomenal.
Trading the racetrack for the wilds of Alaska wasn't easy, but Drake is no stranger to traveling off the beaten path.
Nothing seems to really, people get married, they have kids, they seem happy. I haven't done anything just regular. Everything's kind of like off the charts or kind of out there in no man's land. This is not Ozzie and Harriet here.
Alaska, either you're running from someplace or you're running to someplace. It's never in between.
Back in Talkeetna, Don Lee continues to push student pilot Amy out of her comfort zone.
I started flying in Virginia, so most of my time is in really flat areas, so everything up here is different to me. If I ever wanted to work up here or do something in Alaska, I would definitely use this information.
Amy has zero experience flying in the Alaskan winter, so Don's trying to teach her the basics, starting with how to land on a frozen lake in the middle of the mountains.
Amy is really intrigued with the winter ski flying. It's something that she doesn't have a chance to do down in Virginia.
So let's start right at the edge of the hills here. Okay. We want to be just a little bit above timberline. Okay. Well, this looks like bear country to me.
Don's worried how Amy will handle the landing.
On these remote lakes, there's no one checking the runway to see if it's smooth or clear. There's no one telling you the wind. You have to be everything. It's a lot of information for someone new like that.
That'd be a little bit of wind for you to work with today.
My job is especially challenging because I have to allow these people, a total stranger basically, manipulate the controls and put that aircraft in a position to make a safe landing.
Now we're getting a little wind from this way, so I'm guessing that the wind is, we have a headwind right now.
Suddenly, 20-kilometer-per-hour winds rock the plane. The lesson takes a dangerous turn.
And be real careful when you go down to the flaps like that. You think I was grabbing the wheel when I got the flaps? A couple times I had to give it full deflection. So you're going to start descending? Yeah, sure.
She must position the skis at a precise angle with the ground, or risk flipping the plane into the lake's deep snow.
Be ready to add power now. Be ready to add power. Full power, full power.
Just before touchdown, Amy gives the plane too much power.
Don't push it forward. Pull your power back. Pull your power back. Careful. There you go. Better. Woo! It's beautiful. It's perfect conditions.
She nails her first lake landing, but her lesson isn't over yet. Next stop, a glacier landing near Denali National Park.
Okay, bud.
Back in Haines, The weather improves, so Drake takes a shot at getting the skiers up to the mountains.
This is kind of what we were kind of thinking about maybe is, yeah, if we could come around and check out this north side of Leland.
You guys keep trying to pick spots. The weather's going to dictate where you go. You could pick that spot, we go up there and it's totally flat light. This time of year, late winter, when everything's just uniform white snow, you know, it might not take very much cloud to mask things over.
Drake will have to make 3 separate trips to get all the skiers and their gear to the slopes.
Things are looking good, there's reasonable light, you're getting them out. They could change in a heartbeat. So when you've had weather for days, and the people have been calling for days, and please just hang in there, so let me get these guys out. And so there's a, definite pressure there.
And to make matters worse, Drake's not sure about conditions at his destination.
It's been snowing, you haven't been out in a while, and now the weather's good and you can go. So you have no idea of the quality of snow. It's going to probably be deep, but you don't know how deep. You're on guard. There is a possibility of rocks and glacier and avalanche coming down and getting you quite a distance away. Here we go. It's got to go right.
Feels good to be out in the mountains, man. It was getting pretty grim there down in town. And now it looks like we're actually going to be able to do some skiing.
But Drake needs to make 2 more trips before the weather shuts him down.
It's all the time in your head. How's my engine? How's my weight and balance? You've got limited amount of energy. You want to stay alive.
In Kodiak, Keller's on his way home when a school of herring catches his eye.
See that? That's herring. Isn't that crazy? That's a big load.
It could be a lucrative score for Alaskan fishermen.
Oh, it's one of my buddies I went to high school with.
What's up, dudes? How's the herring fishing going? I see they on ya. Hey, nice, dude. Well, I just figured I'd stop in to say hi. I've been meaning to swing by. Sorry, I didn't bring any beer or anything. There's plenty of beer, so. There's 2 huge. There's about 100 and a 200 right here. And then there's some moving into like Shearwater and stuff, but there's 2 huge sets right out here. All right, we'll see you guys.
Later,
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
They're all my friends from high school. Met a few of them in college. It's just fun to work with people that you've grown up with your whole life.
What's happening?
But he's known this guy longer than anybody. His twin brother, Jay.
Yeah, we work pretty well together. You know, I'm better than him, so naturally, he just kind of follows what I do and seems to work out. I'm a little calmer, where Jay is a little more hyper, I'd say. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just 7?
The brothers are flying out a skeleton crew of 7 cannery workers, 150 kilometers southwest to a facility in an area called Alatak.
This is the first load for this year, so they got to get there and their job's to open everything up and make sure everything still works.
The crew will help process nearly 6,000 metric tons of seafood this season.
Yeah, it's time. 8 months off, come back in September usually. Running out of money, got to get back to work. Had too much fun all winter long.
Canneries are a major industry for Alaska and a top source of income for the Wadham brothers.
Yeah, with 7 people, we might be able to pull this off, actually.
but they only have a couple of hours to get their workers out before an approaching storm shuts down the skies.
So the longer it takes for us to get out there, it could potentially halt production. I'll take 4 and you can take 3. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Island Air 617 on.
And local knowledge just helps a lot up here. I think when pilots come here that haven't flown here at all, they definitely feel way more uncomfortable. The conditions are deteriorating past what the dispatch and the weather we'd gotten just 30 minutes before had said.
The winds gust to over 80 kilometers per hour, and Jay's plane rocks like a boat in a violent sea.
Shallow, where you at? Coming up on Lake Miami. Alright, how is it in there? It's 1,000 feet, just bumpy. It is pretty bumpy. Start getting sick, you can just throw up on the floor, don't worry about it. This is a crappy flight. Dude, it's blowing like crazy. Hey Keller, where are you going to? I was gonna head down to Alitac, but I'm starting to change my mind. I don't know, everybody in my plane's sick. I'm gonna puke all over everything.
Halfway to the cannery, Jay's heavily loaded plane can barely stay afloat.
Dude, there's no way I can work 40 with this load. Getting in there, I mean, the swell will be too big.
It happens. Plane falls out of the sky, lands wherever. Nobody wants to see that.
We're gonna go back to Kodiak. I mean, you always want to get the job done. You know, there's no sense putting yourself in a bad situation, and I have done that a lot of times.
It's just, can you get the trip done and get it done safely and comfortably for everyone? You know, you don't want to take a plane full of people out and have it be such a terrible ride they never want to get in a small airplane again.
The water's pretty choppy.
You don't think about money, you just think about safety and what's right. If I can do it, I'll do it. If I can't, I can't, you know? But no, I don't even ever think about money or what it's gonna cost, because you can't. Some days you win, some days you have to turn around.
Oh, I'll get it, dude.
The cannery crew will have to try again another day.
The weather's a little lower, but more than anything, it was a lot windier than it was supposed to be. We were getting winds up to 45 knots in the air, and it was obviously picked up on the ground, so 3 of the people in the back seat puked. In fact, there's puke in my plane right now. I gotta get a hose and wash it out. That's why I ramped it up like this, so it'll drain out the tail. Yummy.
1,000 kilometers east, Drake's still ahead of his storm front, but just barely.
Oh, damn it. You decided to stay.
He's got to unite the remaining skiers with their crew on the glacier before weather grounds them indefinitely.
I've got 6 individuals, I've got this much stuff, I need this much fuel, I gotta make this many trips. Is that right?
Oh no, these are his. Right.
Well, how come you put 2 pair of skis here that aren't his, that I loaded in? Don't do that. It probably seems like you're a bit of a grouch or not a very friendly person, which I've been accused at times for sure. But in these instances, it's like, I mean, I need to load and unload as quickly as possible and go. Yeah, whatever your wish list is on a load, that's what comes over, nothing else. Otherwise, it's just confusing.
and I'm confused enough half the time. How heavy is that box? Not.
The eager tourists have overpacked, and every extra kilo of cargo puts drag on the plane, adding minutes to the flight time.
Really, we have 2 duffels and 2 backpacks and a couple pairs of skis left, just so you have an idea of what we have.
So is this, you guys need everything that's, okay.
Yeah, we pared it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
You need your bacon.
But Drake's impatience doesn't dampen the skiers' mood.
So psyched to be getting in there. Psyched to see what these mountains look like from anywhere but down in the valley.
That's if they beat the storm.
Okay, we're going.
In Talkeetna, veteran instructor Don Lee knows taking it slow is the key to survival.
So anytime I get a new student, to have the learning environment, you don't want to overwhelm them because it's very easy to get completely overwhelmed in the mountains and land in the glaciers because we're way out of the box in this type of flying, and so it's going to be completely different for her.
Today, Amy will try landing on a glacier in the deadly Talkeetna mountain range.
All those valleys, all those rock climbs, my head is filled with bad people that have died. This valley, 2 people died. Plane crashed over there, killed 5 people. We still do it. We still fly up there. You just have to know that you're not exempt from getting killed up there.
In 2005, an experienced pilot started his climb over a nearby ridge too late and fatally collided with a rock face.
Mountain flying has to be second nature. We're concentrating on 20 square feet of slanting snow. And you need to learn to ignore all the cascading ice falls and the crevasses and all these other things.
To get to the glacier, student pilot Amy must first get over the outer ridge. And that means getting up and over a wall of 80 km/h downdrafts.
Air has fluid characteristics like water. You know it's going to drop down this hill, it's going to go up this side, it's going to spew out the valley, it's going to be rising on this side, descending on that side, and so that's kind of the way we look at the air. Now we're flying at 60 and we got a lot of air going on here. We don't want that. When we cross that ridge, we want to be about 80.
Okay.
Because if we got descending air, we're not going to be able to get our way out of it.
Sure.
Your natural tendency when you go into rising terrain is to pull back, which is exactly what you don't want to do.
Right.
Amy must gain altitude and airspeed fast, or the current will toss her and Don into the side of the ridge.
Now remember, this is not flat.
Right.
Feel the sinking?
Okay.
Attack the mountain, drive into it, because if you shy away from it, it's going to eat you up. If you see all that blue sky, we're at a real steep angle of attack. Okay, power, 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 power.
She makes it over the ridge and inside the range.
So there's a lot going on here.
But her riskiest challenge comes next. Touching down on a glacier without skidding into a mountain.
One of the biggest things about glacier landings is that you can't go around and check it out again. Once you're committed, once you're in, you might land too low or too high, or you can screw it up, but don't try and turn out of there because you're not going to make it.
Right.
You're only looking at that 20 square feet is where you want to touch down at. Power, 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 power. Full power, full power. Okay, add full power, full power, full power. Get the nose down. Don't lift the nose up when you feel it coming. When you feel the airplane doing that.
Yep.
It'll fall out of the sky, man.
Don's directing a landing from the passenger seat, and his student is veering off course.
Okay, so let's get rid of that flap.
All right.
Put the nose down. Okay, now come back in your power a little bit. There you go. Now we're just coming in nice and straight. Oops, that's okay.
All right.
Amy's going too fast.
Okay, now come back on your power a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, off on your power.
She slows to a stop just seconds before smashing into the mountainside.
All right, so it got kind of crazy there, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's one of the hardest things to tell yourself when the train's rising not to pull back away from the train. My job is to keep us from getting hurt, right?
Right.
The important thing was, even though I was yelling, don't push, pull, push, power, everything else, you still flew the airplane, which was important.
It does feel good when we've done it a couple of times, you know, and I was kind of getting the hang of it, then yeah, it's really fun.
You weren't afraid, were you?
No, we're good.
Okay. All right, good. Well, I was.
Hey, we're just south of Catseed Flats, eastbound. For anybody that cares. Nobody cares.
Back in Haines, a storm's moving in fast, and Drake's already behind schedule.
Yeah, they got a lot of stuff. They don't exactly travel light. You know, we're in the hauling business. Pretty much a moving truck with wings. Mechanicking, packing, and hauling with a little bit of flying. Go figure.
You got the important stuff. Beer and fuel. Beer and fuel. Yeah, he's shuttling people and gear in, and this is our second load here, and we're pretty heavy. We're just going to set up a base camp and then do day tours from here.
Yeah. You're all set, Brian? God.
All set.
But Drake's still got one last load of skiers to deliver.
I don't trust the weather. No, I never do when it's like this. Don't trust the weather. I'll be back.
In ideal conditions, he can make the round trip in an hour, if the storm doesn't stop him first.
I'm up against everything. Yeah, I'm up against the light. I'm certainly feeling it. It's been a full day already. And it's challenging up here too. It's windy and it's definitely got my full attention.
Operating on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So we got a satellite phone in the glove box, fire extinguishers under my seat, you got a float coat in the seat back in front of you, lift the handle to exit. That's the essentials.
The mountain's 40 kilometers away, but the storm front's even closer.
And right now I'm just trying to make it efficient, like right here. We're a couple miles out and we're at the altitude we want to be. I'm going to start dropping my skis out here so we can just come straight in.
Drake's plane has both wheels and skis. To lower the skis, he uses a hydraulic pump.
Yeah, this hand pump.
But the skis are stuck, and the glacier's getting closer.
Damn it.
Drake's landing skis aren't dropping fast enough.
Yeah, this hand pump. Ah, there they are.
we're done. You can only find my hat.
And we'll see you in 10 days, man, if not before.
Well, if you don't like it, then we'll talk about moving. So work it for a while, and if you're discontent,
give a call and we'll move.
Give a call, drink all the booze so that you'll be lighter.
Yeah, we will for sure.
Do try to drink it all tonight.
Probably not tonight, but tonight and tomorrow for sure. So stoked to be here, ready to charge. We've got some pretty good objectives, I think, for keep us entertained for a week or so.
I like the mountains, but I didn't want to spend the night in them. Everything's set, they're happy. We're fine, nothing happened, the airplane's doing fine. We're going home.
Over 9453 Charlie Juno radio, roger, flight plan closed, good day.
Hey, thanks a lot, good night.
Yeah, I want to go home. There's no place like home.
The twins have been stuck at home for 2 days, ever since a storm forced them to abort their cannery run mid-flight.
So it's Monday, the weather's a lot better down there. So winds came down, visibility came up, so we're loading up and going again. They've been in hotel rooms and hanging out. They've had a long journey and they're ready to be there. We're ready to get them there, so.
The crew and pilots are losing money each day they can't get to the cannery.
It's really important to get people out there so they can get the, the machine operators out there and the people that work the boilers and start seeing what's wrong, what they need.
How's it looking on through there? Damn, looks like a wall up here. It must be changing rather rapidly.
It can go from being beautiful and sunny 1 minute to blowing and raining and foggy in the next. It's bumpy and windy, you're getting bounced around. The danger level definitely, and the anxiety level, just everything goes up.
You through yet? Yes. So that's blowing about 10. You can imagine what it'd be like if it was blowing worse.
One brother down, one to go.
Kind of break in life right now, so I might as well take advantage of it.
It's a little foggy in town, a little snowy, but it's beautiful down here. Should have a nice few couple days.
Yeah, it was good to get everybody down there and so they could start opening up the cannery and get ready for the fishing season. My favorite thing about being a pilot, you feel free. Even though it is hard work and there's lots involved of it, but if you love doing something, it's one of those things I love doing it, so it doesn't feel like a job to me.
Come on, you son of a... Come on!